Good morning, guys. Today we are here at Pro Wine Mumbai 2025. This is the fifth edition, and we are here with Mr. Pradeep Gidwani at Wsci Studio. Sir, welcome to Wsci Studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me over here. Yeah.
How do you feel about this Pro Wine?
I think it's fantastic to be in a place like this, right? I mean, the opportunity to meet so many people, the opportunity to see what's happening in this industry. I mean, this industry needs a showcase, and it's so good to see exhibitors over here. I mean, and across the category, right from bubbles to wines to spirits to technology to beer. I mean, it's just fantastic to see this. I think the industry needs more of this.
And since you've been in the industry for so many years, before I was even born for that matter, 40
You're
plus
making me sound
years.
aged, right?
40 plus years of your expertise in this field. Tell me one such campaign that you did which made you feel, damn, I actually did a great job at this.
Well, I mean, I can just tell you, Foster's Australian for beer, right? Or Australian for beer, right? I mean, this was 1998 when we were launching Foster's, and we sort of tested out different campaigns. At that time, advertising was permitted on Star TV, etc. And we tested different campaigns, and everybody wanted the the standard. So we market research told us that people in India wanted to see the standard music, dance, sun, people on the beach having a drink, having a beer, right?
Right.
So that's what everybody wanted,
Right.
And in Foster's was as very clear it was Australian for beer, and so we wanted something which was Australian, and it sounded Australian and so quirky, and so even the market research told us that it wouldn't work. We went ahead with that campaign. It succeeded in Foster's at that moment of time when Kingfisher was such a dominant brand. Created a niche for itself and created a mark for itself. So I was really pleased with what we were able to do with Foster's. And they quite a lot more, but yeah, I mean, this is one very interesting.
This is one thing that you clearly remember as something that you're proud of having done. Coming to the alcohol industry currently, we see the market going from absolutely cluttered to some sort of shape in the bottle. What do you, as someone who's seen the market grow, right? Literally go from infancy to baby steps to somewhere crawling, I'd say, right? What do you project or predict for this industry in the coming years?
So I think the Indian market is at a very interesting stage, right? I mean, it's the younger consumers and people in India. And India is a young country compared to a lot of other countries. We have younger consumers over here. We're integrated into the world. We know exactly what's happening around the world, so we're not stuck to our past, right? So yeah, I think earlier people were all stuck with their past. We had limited choice of brands, limited choice of drinks, and you were stuck to what your father drank here. I think what's happening today is that consumers are aware of what's happening around the world. They're seeing the changes happening, and they're willing to experiment here. I think the big thing is that people have an open mind, and if you talk about a particular style of whiskey or a particular style of beer, earlier beer meant just standard golden lager, but now people are willing to experiment here. I look at the entry of new craft spirits, whether it is tequila, mezcal, or agave spirits. I look at for example, Irish whiskey. I mean, a few years ago, people had never said it would work. When I ran my own outlets like the Beer Cafe and the Pint Room,
Right.
and people said that people in India will not drink a stout dark beer. And Jesus Christ, I saw so many people drinking that. Yeah. So I think what's
It
happening,
exploded.
what's happening in India is that people's minds are open.
Right.
People are willing to experiment. It's
Right.
a younger lot over here, very open to trying out the world. We're aware of what's happening around the world and willing to try it. And I think it's fantastic.
Experimenting has been the word that Gen Zs are associated with in the industry. But the question also becomes is, how far can this experimentation be actually good for the industry, and when does it at some point become something that brings down quality?
So to me, experimentation is not about just an experiment for being different, right? or doing that radical thing just because I want to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to have a vision. I've got to have a strategy, right? And then my experiment has got to be part of that.
Mm.
If I'm able to achieve that, and that's what I keep talking to different brands. I do a lot of advisory work with brands, and I say the first thing is, who am I? Right? What's your identity? Right? I mean, if it's Pradeep Gidwani, I've got to create an identity for myself. Right? Others, I'm going to be like everybody else. Yeah. Right? There are 1.4 billion people in India. I'll be the same as them. Right? So for
Mm-hmm.
my brand, it's not just about experimenting, but it's about what's my vision, who am I as a brain, what would I like it to be, what would I like people to be, and then how can I make that happen to consumer. I think to me that is key, and that is something I think brains need to really work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, just throwing out brains and saying, I've got a different bubble shape or I've got a different label. Yeah, it's nice, but what's the vision? What's the story?
Storytelling plays a very vital role in a brand's building, which is exactly what we are focusing on at WSCI with our magazine called Zero Kilometer.
Sure.
But I'll come back to the question, which was brand storytelling. Uh, do you see a lack of willingness to try to put the message of the story out rather than more the product? Do you see that gap happening here? And how do you think this gap can actually be, filled?
You know, I think the first thing is that people are not clear on what they want to be, right? So I remember, I did, Foster's Carlsberg and, then I was at Beer Cafe in Pine Room. And I know a lot of people came to me at that time, some brands were a success and everybody came and said, I want to launch a beer and can you help me? I said, sure, but what's your thought? Do you have an idea what you want to be? What's your idea? And I think, not nobody, most people don't have an idea, right? And the people who are clear that I have an idea and this is what I want to be, this is what I stand for, right? I think they have a better chance of success than somebody who's not clear. So today, what we seem to do in our industry is there's like a herd mentality, right? Everybody says, okay, this is doing well, so मेरे को craft beer करना है. मेरे को ये अभी gin आ गए market में. There are some 40 gins or 50 gins, I don't know how many gins in the market, right? And so I want to do a gin. I want to launch my own gin brand.
All tasting approximately the same.
All very good, all really good, fantastic packaging, great work done on packaging, great work done on the quality of the product, but no clear vision, no clear distinctiveness, no clear strategy on who I am, what I am, and what's the story that I want to tell and want my consumers to hear, because consumers connect with a brand with a story. And so your product and everything has got to link back to that, and then everything's got to be consistent. Foster's our story was Australian, right? We're very clearly Australian, and we were the first in India to, at that moment of time, to do beer and barbecue, which was like a big thing because barbie was Australian. We were the first to at such a small little thing, but barbecue and beer, first to do that. But everything linked back to brand Australia, right? So, for example, if Australia is not seen with music festivals, it didn't make sense for me to do music. Right. But here we say, okay, I got to target Gen Z, and therefore I got to do music, and I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I got to do this, and I'm doing everything
it's
for everybody.
It's a little bit of everything, but nothing really coming out of it.
Everything for everybody and nothing for nobody.
Yes. My last question to you, sir. One brand that you have seen grow in the recent years that you wish you were the one owning it, you were the one who had that idea, something that has actually inspired you in the recent years?
I think quite a lot of them. I can really talk about Anand Virmani's Greater Than Gin.
Right.
I think it's Anand did a great job with thinking about the product. He had a very clear proposition for it. So at that moment in time, if you looked at the Indian gin market, you just had Blue Ribbon and a couple of other gins.
Right.
Very basic, and gin was seen as just very basic, for a gin and tonic and nothing beyond that. And he created a nice story with Greater Than.
Right.
The price positioning was correct. The packaging was fantastic. And
clean, simplistic, does the job, goes well with almost everything. For that matter, Samsara,
Yeah.
They have done an amazing job with their packaging, with their flavors. Uh, the, for me, that is one brand story that has actually made a lot of sense in today's date, and rightfully so. It's actually become one of the most popular Gen Z brands. Actually, if you look at it, I mean, I love it. I know most of my friends are like, "Jin, are yaar samsara utha lenge." That is the kind of affection any brand would wish to achieve at some point, right? One such brand besides your favorite beers, one such brand that you have worked on which you feel has that same connotation or that same enthusiasm.
Beer cafe, right? I mean, you know, I yeah, beer cafe was born in a room like this, right? I mean, I looked around, and at that moment in time, we had coffee shops coming into India.
Right.
So we had a barista and cafe coffee day.
CCD and all of
Yeah,
these
CCD
started becoming
yeah,
popular.
started becoming popular. This is 2010, and what was the opportunity? The opportunity was not about beer, but the opportunity was about meeting up over beer, right?
Community space.
Yeah, community space. And he said, I need to meet you. I need to meet you for a business or a personal meeting or talk to you. Where do I go? I can go to a coffee shop and I can drink one coffee, but I can go to a beer cafe and have, a couple of beers here. And
Right.
and for a guy like me who wants a couple of beers,
Perfect.
so beer cafe, the concept is very simple. We were the coffee shop of beers. So we looked like a coffee shop. We didn't look like a bar. We didn't look like a nightclub. We didn't look like a discotheque. So everything linked back to who we were, what we wanted to be here. So we were very clear that we were not a discotheque. We were not a nightclub. We were not a sports bar, but we were a beer cafe. And the name, when we looked at it, so we went on website and typed over there, and boom boom boom, the beer cafe was available. Boom, we got it.
It's actually surprising you had it available in today's date. I know people and companies who are trying to change the spelling of beer in 15 different ways because there's no IP available. But it was really amazing talking to you, sir. Hope
you.
to see you again next year at Provine because we know we value your words.
Thank you so much.
We value your experience.
Thank you so much.
And hoping to see you next time. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for inviting me. Thank you. Really enjoyed
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
nice day.
Cheers.